What happens when a woman is wronged by the man she trusted most? And even the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, doesn't have an answer for her. What happens when her world crashes around her and she has nowhere to turn but to Allah? This is the story of a woman who refused to stay silent. A woman whose voice was not ignored by the heavens. A woman whose pain led to a Quranic revelation that still echoes today. Her name was Kawla bint Thalaba, may peace and blessing of Allah be upon her. And her story is a divine reminder that Allah hears you, even when the world doesn't. The brave woman who spoke, and Allah responded. In this video, you're going to hear a story that most Muslims have never fully heard. A real woman with real pain who went straight to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and didn't get the answer she hoped for. But she didn't stop. She took her complaint straight to Allah, and Allah revealed a verse in the Qur'an in response to her voice. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your prayer is never in vain, and how to hold on when everything feels like it's falling apart. Who was Kawla bint Labah? Let's go back to Medina, a time when the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, walked among the people, a time of simplicity, sincerity, and hardship. Kawla bint Labah was among the women of the Ansar. She was known for her intelligence, her eloquence, and her deep commitment to her faith. She was married to a man named Aw's son Al-Samit, the brother of the famous companion of Balah's son Al-Samit. But like many marriages, theirs wasn't perfect. AWS had a temper, and in a moment of anger, he uttered words that would shatter Kawla's life. He said to her, "You are to me like my mother's back." This statement is known as zihar, a pre-Islamic form of divorce. It meant that a man would declare his wife like a mother, forbidden to him, but without officially divorcing her. It was cruel. It left the woman neither married nor divorced, just trapped. For Khaola, this wasn't just humiliating, it was devastating. She was neither free to remarry nor allowed the rights of a wife. She was suspended between roles, living in shame, abandoned by the very man who promised to protect her. But Khaola wasn't the kind of woman to stay silent. She didn't scream. She didn't curse. She didn't run to people and gossip. She did what true believers do. She took her pain to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. She said, "O Messenger of Allah, my husband has wronged me. He pronounced zihar on me. What do I do?" The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, being the messenger of Allah, could only speak based on revelation. And at that time, no ruling had yet come regarding zihar. He replied, "I do not see anything except that you have become unlawful for him." Imagine what that felt like. She wasn't just rejected by her husband. She was now being told, even by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, that there may be no way out. But Khaola didn't give up. She argued, she reasoned, she cried. She made her case with full dignity. She said, "O Messenger of Allah, he consumed my youth. I bore his children. And now when I am old, he wants to cast me away? By Allah, I complain my grief to Allah alone." And complain she did, but not with bitterness, with tawakkul. She didn't demand justice from people. She placed her hope in the one who is never unjust. And what happened next shook the heavens. A woman, wronged in her home, found her voice heard by Allah above the 7 heavens. While Khaola stood before the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, her heart broken, her soul pleading, something unseen was happening. From above the 7 heavens, Allah al-Sami'u, the all-hearing, responded. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, sat silently for a moment until the divine revelation came. He turned to Khaola and told her, "Revelation has come down concerning you and your husband." And then, the words were revealed, now preserved in Surah Al-Mujadilah. "Indeed, Allah has heard the statement of she who argues with you, O Muhammad, concerning her husband, and directs a complaint to Allah. And Allah hears your dialogue. Indeed, Allah is hearing and seeing." Surah Al-Mujadilah, Quran 58 verse 1. Let that sink in. Allah didn't just hear. He acknowledged her. He preserved her pain in his words forever. In these verses, Allah abolished the unjust practice of zihar. He laid down a new law that if a man performed zihar on his wife, he could not touch her again until he did one of the following. 1. Free a slave, which was difficult then. 2. If he couldn't, fast for 2 consecutive months. 3. And if not even that, feed 60 poor people. This was not just a correction. It was justice revealed for one woman in one moment. And today, we recite these verses in our salah. We memorize them. We reflect on them, all because of Kawla's courage. Let's pause and reflect. She didn't shout. She didn't raise a banner. She didn't start a protest. But her words were full of truth. And when truth is mixed with sincerity and pain, Allah responds. Ask yourself, when you feel broken, who do you turn to? When no one else has the answer, do you still believe that Allah is listening? Because Khaola didn't just speak. She believed that her voice mattered. And it did. This story isn't about zihar. It's about hearing. About being heard by the one who never sleeps. Who never ignores. Who knows the tears you hide from the world. How many of us are carrying burdens in silence? A prayer you've been making for years with no answer. A pain in your heart that even your closest friend doesn't understand. A situation that feels like there's no way out. Khaola stood exactly where you are. And she didn't give up. She spoke. And Allah responded. Let's take this ancient story and bring it into your life. Because Khaola's example isn't locked in history. It's alive today, waiting for you to apply it. This is modern lessons from Khaola's courage. In a world where many women are still unheard, silenced, or dismissed, Khaola reminds us, your voice matters. But here's the key. She didn't go around backbiting. She didn't curse her husband in public. She didn't lose her dignity. She went to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. And when he didn't have an answer, she went straight to the source of all answers. That is the legacy of Khaola. These are timeless lessons. 1. Speak the truth with dignity. Khaola was direct but respectful, emotional but composed. We learn from her that it's okay to feel pain. It's okay to question. But it's how we carry ourselves in hardship that makes the difference. 2. Never underestimate the power of prayer. Her prayer didn't just change her situation. It changed the laws of an entire ummah. You may not see the result today, or even tomorrow, but prayer is never wasted. 3. Know that Allah is al-Sami'u al-Basir. He hears and sees you. Always. Even when no one else is watching. Even when no one understands. Your pain has an audience with the King of Kings. And so, her name was not forgotten. Allah named a surah after her, Al-Mujadilah, the woman who argued. But this argument wasn't with arrogance. It was with faith. And through her story, Allah is showing you, your voice is never too small. Your complaint is never too minor. Your grief is never ignored. The power of a single voice. Sometimes, all it takes is one voice to spark a divine response. One woman, one prayer, one stand for justice, and Allah sent down verses that remain until the end of time. Khaola's story is not an exception, it is a precedent. A woman, not a scholar, not a leader, not someone with power, just a believer who didn't stay silent. And Allah heard her. What does that tell you about your own voice? That pain you carry, that wrong you've endured, that prayer you whisper every night, hoping, pleading, wondering if anyone is listening. Allah is listening. And if your heart is sincere, your voice can reach beyond this world. Have you ever felt invisible? Have you ever felt like your situation doesn't matter to anyone? That your problem is too small for Allah or too hopeless for change? Remember Khaola. She stood alone in a society where women were often dismissed. She didn't wait for a crowd. She didn't need public support. She had Allah, and that was enough. Hidden lesson. Turning points come when you refuse to give up. Kawla could have walked away. She could have accepted the prophets, peace and blessings be upon him, initial response and buried her pain. But she didn't. She kept standing. She kept hoping. And that moment of resilience became her turning point. Sometimes your breakthrough comes not when you pray once, but when you refuse to stop praying, even when the answer seems far. Allah waits for your persistence. And when your heart breaks while still hoping in him, he responds in ways the world could never expect. Now I want to ask you something. What is one prayer you're still waiting for Allah to answer? Drop it in the comments, not for the likes, but as a witness that you're still hoping, that you still believe. And maybe, just maybe, this public act of hope will be the moment that changes everything for you. And if this story reminded you of Allah's mercy, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who feels forgotten, someone who feels trapped, someone who thinks Allah doesn't hear them anymore. And if this video gave you even a little light, like it, comment, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss a reminder like this again. In the next video, we'll go deeper. We'll talk about 3 powerful signs that Allah loves you, and how even your hardships might be a hidden mercy. You don't want to miss that. So hit the bell icon, and stay connected to reminders that can reshape your heart. Ya Allah, soften our hearts like Khaola's. Let us speak with courage, but not with arrogance. Let us remember that you are Al-Sami'u, the all-hearing, and that you never ignore the cries of the oppressed. Grant us patience like hers, wisdom like hers, and Tawakkul like hers. Let our prayers rise like hers, and let your mercy descend like it did for her. Ameen.